Alright, well, the lighting is not as good in here, but it ought to be good for what we're doing today. But I wanted to sit it on a level surface. It's pretty much sitting on a level surface because it's on my concrete. I've got this adjusted up off the ground because I just sat it on the back of my flatbed, but I've got a new brush hog. Wrong color, but it mows the same. Doesn't matter what color it is. It's in really good shape. Hopefully the drive shaft is long enough. It looks like it might be. I made me some quick hitch bushings, the lowers real quick, because those take the wide ones. I never can find the wide ones. But let's service this this gearbox. It's been out in the sun. It's like 85 degrees today, so it ought to be warm enough. I'm going to get my Mighty Vac, and we'll show you guys how to do it. Alright, well, I'm glad I'm checking this, because this was loose. I put the wrench on it, and it came right off. At least it has oil on it, so it should have oil. But I'm going to throw some Teflon tape on this, and we'll be right back. Alright. This gotta work in there. Put Teflon tape on the breather. Alright, it's overfilled by a stretch. Supposed to be filled up to the side plug there, and I don't know, there's a couple lines on here, and it looks like the couple lines on there is probably your fill mark. There's a line at the very bottom and a line right there. Well, if you pull that out, that's right in the middle of those two lines when this is filled up to here. So you don't necessarily have to pull your side plug out. To do this, you could go off the lines on your breather tube there, it looks like. But it's 80-something degrees today, so hopefully the Mighty Vac will pull the fluid out just fine. Try to get all the way down to the bottom of the gearbox. Make sure your Mighty Vac's going the right direction. Fluid looks really good. I don't think the mower is very old. Even the lampride orange paint fades really quick if it's kept outside. And then two, I've never seen this weird little equalizer deal on the front of the tongue. I assume that's a newer style. This just takes 80-90. Set this over here. Now, nothing that you can't do so far, right? Right. You can do this. This is simple. It's making a mess over there, but I thought that tapered deal would work a little better. Actually, sometimes I use those bottles for something else. Let's see. This one's not open. I know it's 80-90. And this Mystic 80-90 is tinted red. It doesn't look like regular GL5 or 80-90, depending on what you want to call it. So Sometimes I'll put transmission fluid in these. But I know this one's new, so I'll fill her up until she comes out the side, and it'll be full. I don't think these take quite a quart. It's been a minute since I've had one of these. Maybe it takes a quart. It'd be nice if they made it take a quart. Takes a quart. Just barely started coming out just there. And that's totally fine. You don't have to have that thing way overfilled. All that. I'm trying to make a mess over here though. You don't want to smell like gear oil the rest of the day. Have somebody else do this. Or maybe get into a paint suit. Something. Because you'll smell it all day. And it would have been good, I guess, if I would have just pulled the top open first and drained it. But I kind of wanted to see where it was. And I wanted to see if those lines lined up with the fill level of it, or if it was just, coincidence that it had lines on it. But fluid's so clean I can't hardly see it on there. Yeah, it's right in the middle of that line, so. Anyways, and as we took it apart, you just want the gearbox fairly level, so I figured with that tail wheel up, it'd be pretty easy to keep it level. Just sit it right on the factory skid shoes. And if you don't want to pull your side plug out, you can just use a 3/4 inch wrench and just pull your vent tube out. I'm glad I pulled mine out because it was loose. But anyways, if you want to service your gearbox on a really any brush hog, but this is a Lamprey gearbox on a RCR 1872. Lamprey follows the same procedure on every gearbox that I know that they make. You can fill it through the vent tube, and it's always got a side plug to pull them out. I don't know if I've ever seen one that they did not have a fill plug that you fill up to on the side. So anyways, we're going to be mowing with this thing here pretty quick, so I at least wanted to change the oil in the gearbox just so I knew when it was changed. You could write it on the back if you want. I seasonally change mine. I change it once a year. It's cheap insurance. Sometimes if I'm using them a bunch, I'll change it twice a year. I'll change it, and then when the hot months go away, I'll change the oil again going into the cooler months. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it makes sense for me. It's a 4066 6-foot mower. Lines up fairly good with the outside of the tires, so it ought to cover our tracks. Kind of wanted a 7-footer, but I got what I feel like is a very good deal on this mower. It's got the chains front and back. It doesn't look like it's very old and been used much at all. We're gonna run her. So if you guys want to see how an RCR 1872 mows, check it out. All right, well, here, let's show you guys how I set it up, I guess. If you don't, I don't know, everybody does it a little different. But we're gonna lower the attachment down about there, probably. That's probably good. I don't know if you can tell, but see how that has a little bit of hot rod rake? If you do that, you can mow a little faster, and generally it mows cleaner. Actually, I probably should grease the tail wheel, but we're not gonna worry about it right now. I'm not gonna mow that much. I'm just gonna go run it. Oh, looks like I have to put a greaser in it anyways. Guess I could grease the bearing, but we're gonna go try it. Make sure it doesn't make any noise. Make sure it mows. The blades look good.
Kind of outline the way you would teach it in order to get to that.
And it didn't really look like the thing's been hurt ever, so anyways, I really need to work on. I need to get something up there. Tell me if you guys like that. If you guys like that view, I'll figure out something. I'll figure out some kind of mount to mount you up here. I kind of feel like it's a pretty good view because you can see kind of everything that I'm doing. Turn that off. We're just gonna run. Let's pick it up. You're gonna wobble around right there. That's why I need to get something up here, or at least a different mount on the camera. Let's see. Where do we want to go? My ditch down there, but it's horrible. It's wet. I mean, maybe we can get down there. Let me see if I can get you up in this other spot. Hang on. I don't know if you're gonna stay there either, but we need to go find some tall grass. I think the only thing I have is down there. I guess we could mow. We could mow the edge of the field. Now, I've got some tall grass here, but it's got crap in it. That's why it's tall. I've got stuff down there. That's hell on earth. That's why it's tall. We'll go back here. I don't know. I need to test it. We'll go somewhere. I don't want the camera to fall. So I'm going slow. I'll brush hog on my skid loader, man. It is nasty. We could probably mow the edge of the cornfield because it's usually got some taller grass back here. Something with some height, just to make sure it doesn't cling, clang, bang, nothing. Put it all the way down. Bring it up about there. Alright. Set my deal. Throttle's down enough, hit the PTO, smooth, run her up to 540, she's not making any noise. Run smooth, quiet, mowing decent. First mow of the year. This stuff hadn't been mowed for a while. There's the cornfield here. Butts up to my yard. Go down this way. It's kind of taller over here. Get past this messed up corner here. Actually, you know what? We'll go up and mow the farmer's field entrance up here. I know the guy that owns it, he doesn't care, so don't yell at me about shouldn't be mowing somebody else's stuff. I have conversations with him all the time. We're totally fine. He actually pays a farmer, another farmer, to come up. The guy that owns it's actually a dentist that owns a bunch of farm ground. But we'll mow here. I've got kind of a pretty steep hill here and then go back down, so we'll see how well that slip hitch transitions. I think it's probably going to lift up. Yep. But I can adjust that with my top link, hydraulic top link. I'm not going to go all the way down because my pond leaks and it's pretty wet down there. So we'll go to this area. Back the other way, then I'll mow that up there later. And then we may use this towards the end of the week next week. Take it on the job site. What else we got to mow? We go down to Hell on Earth. You want to go to Hell on Earth? Shit, let's just go down there. We'll leave it on. I like driving around with that on. No, we're going to jump up a gear. We're going to turn that off. We're going to run old school, throttle her up to 2 grand and let her go. I didn't make too many yard roller videos, but I can tell you what, night and day in my side yard over here. I got my pet geese. I mean, they're not my pets, they're wild, but they're like my pets because they show up every night and they sleep at my pond. This is Hell on Earth. It's over in my side yard. I don't know how I want to mow that. It's wet down there. Drop it down a gear. Done this type of stuff in a tractor in a while. Might need to put her in 4-wheel drive. I used to mow everything like this. I didn't have a skid loader and a brush hog. I had a tractor. Can't tell how steep this is. It's pretty steep. Worried about hitting the cow on the branch. Need to come over and regrade this. thought that was just a sapling and there's a whole limb that fell down. I'll come down and get it, throw it in the burn pile. Actually, it might be a whole tree that laid over. It is, it's a whole tree that laid over. Maybe two or three small ones. I used to call days like this chiropractor days. Mainly when it was rough and I had to turn around and do a lot of this type of work. Because you feel like you need to go to the chiropractor. I know there's some rock coming up, so we're not going to mow that. There's no sense in any of that. But anyways, that mow's pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and lift it up, check the blades, stuff like that. But it mows pretty nice. I mean, blades probably need to be sharpened if I had to guess. It's one thing most people don't do is sharpen the blades. But I'm gonna go pull it off. It's Friday, at least for me. For you, it might be something else. But I'm gonna go see what the wife has planned, probably dinner. And we'll see you guys later. That's a RCR 1872.